Properties of angles, lesson 22 notes. The review is a separate assignment, so I'm going to skip that and go directly to the definitions. What is typed in blue should already be on your papers. You need to copy down what is typed in red and also copy down what is written off to the side. Go ahead and pause your video and do that now. All right, complementary angles are two angles whose measures have a sum of 90 degrees. Remember, sum means addition. So that means two angles, when added together, if they equal 90 degrees, then they are complementary angles. Each angle is called the complement of the other. So if the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 2 equal 90 degrees, then they are complementary angles. Go ahead and get that written down. Okay, supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are two angles whose measures have a sum of 180 degrees. Each angle is called the supplement of each other. So two angles that add up to 90 degrees are complementary. Two angles that add up to 180 degrees are supplementary. So the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees if they are supplementary angles. Pause your video, get that written down. Okay, now a lot of times people get complementary and supplementary mixed up. So I'm going to teach you a little way to remember this. So notice how I had you write a giant C and a giant S beside or underneath the complementary and underneath the supplementary. This is just a way to help you remember. So if I take that C, I draw a line down this way, draw a 0, oops, draw another 0, and then a degree sign, you get 90 degrees. For the S, I can draw a line this way, and it turns into 180. So that's just a little way of remembering that if you see the C, it's 90 degrees, and the S is 180 degrees. So complementary is 90 degrees, and supplementary is 180 degrees. Now that you should have been introduced to before and have an idea of what complementary and supplementary angles are. Linear pair. Look at that word linear. We've talked about linear before in previous lessons. We've talked about it multiple times this year. Linear has the word line right there in it, okay? So a linear pair is when the endpoint of a ray falls on a line and two angles are formed. So this right here is your ray. That's your ray, and its endpoint falls on this line down here. And when that ray falls on that line, two angles are formed. Angle 1 and angle 2 are formed. Now, that straight line is 180 degrees. So if you have this ray coming off of a line, then the two angles that are formed together equal 180 degrees. Therefore, linear pairs or angles are supplementary. Linear pair angles are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees. So, angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair. So the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees. So linear pairs are formed when the endpoint of a ray falls on a straight line. You could have this angle here that is 30 degrees and this angle here, I know it's not great, you just get the point, that's 150 degrees. Together, they would add up to 180. But they're not together, therefore they're not a linear pair. They're supplementary, but they're not a linear pair. In order to be a linear pair, it has to be a straight line. So those are the definitions for complementary, supplementary angles, and linear pairs. If you have any questions, let me know.